Okay, so I'm Lawrence again. You may recognise me from former presentations, when are the clouds going to clear, and also when's it going to stop raining. Oh, I was expecting to get a better laugh than that. Right, okay, so I'm an astrophotographer. I've done a presentation before on my system and what I use. Now, to what David actually said about learning the stars is one of the things I've now forgotten. I did start off with a DSLR and a tripod and a star tracker. You had to look in the sky for your target, try and find it. Learning constellations was a must. What I do now is everything is electronic. Absolutely everything electronic. I don't have to do anything. I've got templates on my computer that control the telescope. I just press a button and it does everything for me. I don't even need to leave my living room now. Just set it up, polar align, press start, and it will do everything for me without me even having to look at the telescope.
It's a smart telescope.
It's now, right, so what my talk was about today is it's now got even worse because I don't even need to be in the same country. So what I've done now is I've made my system fully remote, just by a laptop or just on my phone. I can connect into my telescope now, as I said, from anywhere in the world, and I can just start it up and off it goes. So this is what I wanted to do tonight. I actually wanted to do a live presentation. My telescope's at home right now. So what I was going to do tonight, I was going to connect into it, start it up, show the process. And I've now started doing another form of astronomy. So there's two types of astronomy. You've got visual astronomy, looking through the telescope, looking at the stars. You've also got astrophotography, which is setting up your camera, taking photos, compiling your photos, and looking at the picture after you've processed it. There's a third way. Now, the third way is a hybrid way. What happens is the telescope takes pictures, and I use a program called SharpCap. I don't know whether people have heard of it. What that does is that takes the photos from its storage folder, and it will live stack them as it's taking the photos. So I was going to show that today as well. I haven't, as I said, I can't do it live because there's bad sky at the moment, but I do have photos that I've taken from a previous session last weekend before when the sky was last clear, and I can use those and just show the stacking process. So what I was going to talk about to start off with was the method of remoting into the system from a laptop or a phone or anything really, iPad or anything like that. So when you're at home, my computer and my telescope is connected to my home Wi-Fi, and my computer at home is connected to the home Wi-Fi. So the computer can connect to the telescope just locally. It's nice and easy. Unfortunately, if you're not on your own local network, you're on a cellular network or anything like that, you have to use a different method. And what we do there is we'll use a port forwarding technique. So we'll find the IP address of the router, and we'll tell the router that any connection through the remote desktop must go to the telescope. This way, any instructions that I send it goes to the router and goes straight to the telescope. So it gives us a remote connection. That way, I can, as I said, I can be anywhere in the world and still connect to the system. We had a chap who done a presentation a few months ago who does the same thing from Manchester, and his telescope is in Morocco. Massim, that's it, yes. So I use the same technique as what he does. So in theory, I could literally put my telescope into a field. I'll need to use a router with a SIM card in it, so it's got a signal. But using exactly the same technique, I could sit at home while my telescope is out in the middle of a field somewhere. So again, I can have completely dark skies, but not even need to go out to it. It's not advisable because it may get stolen, but the theory is there. Okay, so the next part I wanted to do was show you live stacking. So this is the method that is used for taking pictures that the camera has taken, the telescope has taken, and actually stacking them live. So I'm going to log into my telescope at home and set him up running. So yeah, I need to log in first because it's got all my router IP addresses on it. All right. Hoping this is going to work. It's a very old laptop. It does have HDMI. Okay, right, there we go. Let's just move over a little bit. Can do. Although my keyboard's not lit up, so the back ones maybe. Right, so this is the computer that's on my laptop, on my telescope, sorry. So this is the computer that controls everything. It's just a little Mealy micro PC. It's not very powerful, but it's powerful enough to run everything that I need. So that's at home. That's connected to my local network, so my home Wi-Fi. And obviously my laptop isn't. So I've remoted in, as I explained earlier. So the program that I use is SharpCap. So at this point, what will be happening is the software that I use to run all the telescope, that's Nina. So I don't use the ASI Air or anything like that. I use a separate, a freeware program that's called Nina. There's a lot I can do with it that is, I can set up templates that I can just press start and it will do everything for me. It will, with the main template that I've used, what will happen when I press start is it will move to a primary star, it will focus, it will then move to my target, it will then set up my guiding, it will then just start taking photos. So everything is completely automated. No, I don't need to do anything myself. I don't need to focus myself. Don't need to set up guiding myself. My software does everything for me. Which, as I said earlier, you lose that excitement with looking at the stars, unfortunately. But it makes us lazy people easy. Well, I can just go to sleep and not have to worry about anything. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into live view. Oh, sorry, no, I'm not. I'm going to go into cameras. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the folder which this program is going to look for the pictures. All right, so now I did actually do it at home, so it is going to pre-select it. So I'm going to stop that a sec. Right, and I'm going to go into live stacking. Okay, so the folder, the source folder I'm going to look for is the folder that all my the camera is downloaded the pictures to, which is this one just here. And we want lights. Oh, come on. Right, okay, so these are all pictures which I took on the 3rd. Obviously, I said I've got to do this tonight with live pictures, but I can't because of the weather. So I'm going to just select the first one and I'm going to add it. Right, so now it's going to use all of those pictures. It's already brought up the first one for me. What I now need to do is I need to tell the system, when we do astrophotography, we need to do calibration frames. So we don't use the full calibration range with this. What we'll do is we'll just use a calibrated dark stack. So I'm going to tell it here that we're going to use a dark frame file, which is here. So that is loaded in. Okay, I'm using a color camera, so I've told the system that the Bayer matrix is red, green, green, blue. The system now, as soon as I start it, it's now ready to take any photos that has been taken, bring them into the system, and stack them all on top of each other. And what that's going to do is, once we've taken quite a few pictures, the image is going to get clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer, exactly as what we'd do if we're stacking a picture in Deep Sky Stacker or in Cyril or anything like that. It's not going to be perfect because it's not using the same process with lights, darks, biases, and the other one. Can't remember off the top of my head, but it is going to give a really good picture. So we've got 133 pictures in here. What we also need to do is, in the bottom here, we have a histogram. So as the pictures come in, we can adjust the histogram to make the picture look better as well. So I'm going to run it fairly slowly. Not very slowly, but I'm going to run it fairly slowly because if on maximum it'll get through 133 pictures pretty quickly. So we're going to run it a bit slowly so we can adjust the histogram, bring out the picture a lot better than if we just leave it. So I'm going to run it every 4 seconds. Okay, so we're going to start up. So it's now running through the pictures and stacking them on top of each other. I'll try and find. Actually, I'm going to pause it because I need to try and find the main target. There we go. So, right, so that's what we took a photo of. That's Bode's Galaxy. So I've just paused it for the moment. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to start on the histogram now, actually. Now, I normally take 2-minute pictures. So I can, within taking 2-minute pictures, I've got plenty of time to play with the histogram before the next picture comes in. I've paused it for the moment because it's got to go too quick for me to show you, okay? So the histogram on here, we can adjust our black point and we can adjust our mid-range just here, and we can make the picture look a little better, and we can also adjust our color contrasts in here as well, so we can line up our colors better. Right, as soon as we've got that there, I'm going to restart to show you the first one and how we've, right, so one, right, so hopefully what we should see is, oh, hang on, no, start and clear that stack, and right, and start. Right, so as you can see, the first picture that was taken, it's very noisy. The signal to noise ratio in there is very, very bad. But now I've adjusted the histogram and everything's set up, if we press play, we'll start seeing the picture turning quite nice. Also, the details in the galaxy you'll see come out a lot better as well. As I said, I've been running this every 4 seconds. Normally when I'm running it, it will be every 2 minutes. So we've got a lot more time when actually doing it live. But as we can see details of the galaxy, actually where the pictures are now stacking up onto them. The signal to noise in the background we can see is clearing. It's not as pixelated as we're getting more data stacked on. And we can see the galaxy actually coming out a lot more. We can see a lot of the dust lanes coming out a lot more. And this, as I said, is because we're stacking more data on top of it, on top of each other. So we speed up a little bit. To once every couple of seconds. I was on one every couple of seconds. So we're only 20 pictures in at the moment. Let's go all the way up to the maximum. I'll run through the pictures quite a bit faster now. We'll see more and more detail coming out, and the signal to noise ratio also will come out a lot better as well. So we're 26 pictures in. We have a lot more detail around the edges now of the galaxy that are coming out. Again, because we're adding more and more data to the picture. The picture is going to get better and better and better as we keep going.
Oh,
yes?
Possible just turn the lights out for a few minutes just while we see it stacked?
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah.
You don't need the keyboard?
No.
Thank you. Let us know if you need it for the keyboard again.
I'm just going to adjust our mid-levels a little bit. So we're now 50 pictures in.
And you'd normally be watching this live as you were
with live stacking.
Or from the States, or wherever you are.
Yeah, with live stacking, that's the idea. You can actually watch your photos develop as you're taking them, instead of what I normally have to do is sit there and wait until it's finished or go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and then stack all of the pictures manually after they've been taken. With this method, you can watch your photo developing and stacking as you're taking them. And the more pictures you take, the better obviously the picture becomes, because you're lowering your signal to noise, you're raising your signal to noise, and yeah, it's fun to watch. Now,
I've got SharpCat, but I haven't used it, like lots of software I've got. I think they do something similar for planetary, for videos.
Yes.
It takes so many frames and then updates it on the screen.
Yes. You can do the same thing with planets on video, lucky imaging, where you're just taking thousands of pictures at a time, and you do that with the same software. Now, live stacking on this software, unfortunately, you can only do it with a pro version, which they charge for.
Not the pro version.
You have, in the it's a very, very good tool. And for this method of astrophotography, it's very, very, very handy. There are others out there, but this is the best one I've found so far. So we're in 113 pictures. Unfortunately, the picture on my screen looks a whole lot better than the picture that's up there. I've got a lot more colour than what is actually on the screen. We're going to now more frames coming on. I'm going to back the black off a little bit, and we can see. Well, as I said, it's not very good on the screen up there, but from what I've got in front of me, I'll turn the laptop round in a minute. And if you can see it, it's actually, you can see a huge amounts of difference the more pictures you stack up. And on an evening of where I've got my telescope out, in the winter is the best, because I'll start up at about 6 o'clock in the evening, and then I'll set it running, and then I'll go back to it at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'll have, in the winter, I'll have 12 hours of pictures. I'll have 300 or 400, 500 pictures, which obviously the more pictures you have, the better your data is, the better your pictures are. So that's completed the 133 now. As I said, up there it doesn't quite give the same as what I've got on my screen here. I don't know why, but we can see that, yeah, we can see the picture has been developing and given us quite a nice image. So yeah, that's what I've been working on at the moment with my system.
Brilliant, thank you. You happy to take questions, Ron?
I am happy to take questions, yes.
Well, I'd like to do something just on the, you said the mini computer on the scope.
Yes.
So that is basically just running the scope and the dew heaters and all that. That's all it's doing, and the data is coming through there and being processed there on your others. Is that right? Right.
So the Mealy computer, it is literally a mini computer. It's about that big.
Yep.
So what that does is I have Nina, the software Nina, loaded onto that.
Yep. And
what that does is that controls the camera, that controls the telescope, that controls the focuser. The dew heater is just plugged into a USB socket because it's just 5 volt.
Okay.
And actually what I can do is I can actually, if we just load him up. Now this isn't going to look very pretty because believe it or not, my telescope is actually sitting on the floor at home, so we're not going to get any pictures. But yeah, I can connect, I can tell everything just to start up. PhD tells me it wants to update, which is going to get duly ignored. Right, so everything's connected. So the guider, the focuser, the camera, the mount is all connected. Now, if I go to, we're in equipment. So this is all my camera controls on here. I have all my focuser controls, all my mount controls, all my guider controls. So this is if I want to do everything manually, but obviously manually is too much effort for a lazy person. So what we can do is just go into our sequencer. We'll go to advanced sequencer and we'll load a sequence on. So I just have a basic template. Well, I just have a template which I use for pretty much everything. He is going to wake up in a sec. Did I load him? Yes, I did. I just got to wait. Not responding. Nice. It is at the moment. The reason why I'm using SharpCap on my computer, on the telescope computer at the moment, is my main computer seems to have a problem with wanting anything to log into it. I don't know why, but I can't remote into my main computer. I'm not sure whether it's something to do with the security protocol, the security policies or anything like that, but I can't remote into my main computer. So at the moment I'm running SharpCap on the mini computer. It doesn't take up a lot of resources and it's not affecting it too much. But what what should happen is I can run SharpCap on my main computer and pull the pictures off of the telescope computer. But they won't go to the main computer at the moment. It just doesn't like it. Right, so to what John was saying, so this is the sequence that I run. So the telescope computer will follow this sequence in order. So when I press start, it's going to immediately start cooling the cameras down to 10 degrees, minus 10 degrees. It's going to unpark the telescope. And it's going to start up a program called RoboCopy. And what that does is it's supposed to copy all the pictures that is taken straight to my main computer. But as I said, my main computer is not playing ball at the moment, so it's just ignoring everything. So I have to take that out. So the next process that is running incredibly slowly at the moment. So the next process that it does, the next sequence that it will do, is it will move the telescope, again on its own from the sequence, and it will move it to a star that I've picked, a bright star, because I want to focus the telescope. So here we go. So whatever I put in, I use Stellarium, and I'll just go on Stellarium, pick out a star, and put that in my target. It will move to that target. It will then focus itself. What it will do then, so here's the, where is it? So there. Right, slow and center to the target, run autofocus. Also, what I've got set up on here is I've got set up a program called Pushover. What Pushover does is it will send every instruction that it's completed to my mobile phone via text. So everything that it does, it tells me on my phone what it's doing as well. Just in case I want something to read. Yes. Right, so again, it's running a bit slow today. So the next target is going to be the primary target that I want to take photos of. So that's in this section here. So I can put in the target here. It will then slew and center again to that target. It will start guiding. It will calibrate itself first, then start its guiding. Now, when it reaches, so when we're running an equatorial mount, what we have to do also is when the telescope reaches the meridian, it has to flip itself. So it's moved all the way over. We have to tell the telescope to move itself back again so we don't hit the tripod with the mount. So it's set up to complete that flip whenever when it's time to do so. It knows when it's time to do so, and it'll do that itself. It'll also autofocus itself after, if the temperature changes by 5 degrees, it will re-autofocus itself as well. It's told to dither every fifth shot. It will dither, which is moving the camera 1 pixel in a random direction, just in case we get a hot pixel. Just in case if we've got a hot pixel, we can eliminate that out of our photos. And it's going to loop itself, which means it's just got to carry on with that process all night until nautical dawn. And it's going to take 120 lights, which is your main photos, until it reaches nautical dawn, in which time it will stop, it will recenter the mount, it will park itself, and it will turn the cooler off on the camera. And that is the process that so see, from that template, I don't have to do anything. I just press the start button down here, and it will just do everything itself. With remote connections, as I said, I could do this from anywhere, absolutely anywhere where I've got connection. So it's,
Fantastic. Any other questions?
Can I ask?
certainly.
You say you do remote astrophotography. Can one do remote time-lapse?
Remote time lapse.
Yeah. So instead of simple snapshots, you have a period of time of how many hours remotely controlled in several sites.
I'm not entirely sure what you.
Well, you have a time-lapse,
Yeah.
and then you control it remotely.
That is what that's doing. It continues to take photos all night, and I do connect to it remotely that way, if that's what you mean.
Do you know the Star Trail where you get circumpolar?
Probably yes.
Have you done
I've never done anything like that myself. No.
that? But in theory it's possible.
It should be, yeah. If you've got the software to run the telescope, you can remote into. As I said, it's only a PC that I'm remoting into, basically. So if your little PC's running the software to do so, then I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can on SharpCap, because you can run video on SharpCap. So it's probably the same similar sort of thing. But again, I've not done that. I've not gone into that sort of thing.
Lawrence, are you able to define safe zones?
Sorry?
Are you able to define safe zones within, I don't know Nina, but are you able to define like a safe zone to prevent, say, the camera hitting a tripod?
Yes, I can. No, I haven't, but yes, you can. And yes, I should. The meridian flip at midnight stops that from one side, but not the other side. It does have a it does have a stop in it. It is set, but I don't know what it is at. So you can either do it at degrees or you can do it at time. Now I think mine's set up at degrees, but I don't know what it is or whether it actually stops it, because I've never got that far.
But the function is within.
Yeah, the function is within it, yes.
Brilliant. Any further questions? No. Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to say this. You must. This is going to sound awful, but I promise you it's pointed to this. So we've got some new people thinking of joining CNAAG who come in tonight. I know because I have to know them. And all I'd just like to say is, with no disrespect intended, most of our club do not do this sort of stuff. And I only mention that not because it's something we wouldn't like to do, but I just don't want people to get the impression that every person in the club's doing this, and therefore if they've never seen Nina and Cyril or whatever, it's almost like this isn't the club for them. This is high-end stuff which most of our members don't do. I hope you don't mind.
It's perfectly fine. It's only us lazy people who do things like this, and unfortunately, I'm one of them. I like to try and make things as easy as possible. I really do like to make things so easy, but unfortunately, it has taken the fun out of it.
Fantastic. So we just need to swap over now. And now we've got Nikki Fleet, who's going to give one of